Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to start assembling some of the things that we've put together. I know that we've created a cartoon character, we've colored that hero, we've sort of finished coloring them. We may have added some lights and darks and everything else like that. But what we're going to do is we're now going to take this character and we're going to add a background to it. We're going to add a background to it, and then we're also going to add our title to it. I'm only going to do the background today, but we are going to make this ultimately look like a comic book, like a real one that you would see on a newsstand or that you would see online. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to look at our character and make sure it's exactly the way we want it. Because what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to sort of flatten this thing out. And what do I mean by flatten? You can see obviously on this side I have different layers for each part. You know, I have the mask, I have some of his shoe, I have, colors on his stripes on his mask, his skin, his clothes. And I told you to create a new layer for every color. It makes it much easier to edit in the grand scheme of things. But now to put everything together, I'm going to want to combine all these layers. So the easiest way to do all of that is simply just click on the very top layer, whatever you have as your very top layer, and select it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to hold down the Control key, the Shift key, and then you're just going to press the letter E. When you do that, you're going to see that my layers window has changed. And what you see in the history up here, it says merge layers. And when you see down over here, you're going to see this new layer. These other two did not merge because they were invisible. I had the eyeballs off. But every layer that I had, the gloves, everything else like that, is all now one layer. I'm going to undo that by hitting Control Z, and I'm going to show you again. Okay, I have all my individual layers here in my layer window, and now I am ready to combine them. I'm going to hold down Control, Shift, and then press the letter E, like everything. When I do that, that's going to merge that all down. Now, when I click on the eyeball here, you probably will only have one layer left. When I click on the eyeball, you're going to notice that when I click it off, all I see behind this thing is the checkerboard. That checkerboard means there's nothing there. Checkerboard is like code for the computer that it's invisible. Now, if I want to add a background, I'm going to need to get rid of all this white stuff. All right? So we're going to go back to one of our favorite tools, the magic wand. I'm going to click on the magic wand, and you're going to see up here there are magic wand sort of settings. One of them is the tolerance. Now, I don't know what your particular one is going to say, but most likely the tolerance is going to be a low number. It doesn't matter if your number doesn't match mine. We are going to set it to a specific number now. Now, what does the tolerance even mean? When I have the tolerance right now in 16, I'm going to take my magic wand and I'm going to click on the white area. When you see I clicked on that white area, you see a lot got selected. All right? A lot. That whole area I'm going to hit delete or backspace. And what happens is that all deletes. And you can see the area that was selected, all of that is now invisible. It's all clear. There's an issue though, is that I got a lot more stuff I want to select. Like, it didn't grab everything I wanted. And when I zoom into my character, I can see that, there's little edges here that it didn't click as much as I'd like. So what I want to do is, and you don't need to be doing this as I'm doing it, just follow along. I'm going to undo this. I'm also going to deselect. And how to deselect, if you happen not to select what you need, is hold down Control and press the letter D, like deselect. You can see that nothing is selected now. Now I'm going to go back up to my tolerance. I'm going to switch my tolerance. Let's go from whatever it is down here, like 16. I'm going to go to 50. Now I'm going to have my magic wand, and I'm going to click again. It looks like it may have just grabbed the same amount, maybe just a little bit more. So it didn't select everything I want. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit Control D and deselect again. And then I'm going to try 80 and switch it to 80. I'm going to click one more time. Now when I click it, it looks like it's selecting a lot more. If I hit backspace, you'll see most of my picture looks clear now. Right? Still has a little irregularities around it. Still has some edges that didn't quite get as clean as I'd like them to be. Now I could go in with an eraser and fix that, but I'm trying to teach you how to use the magic wand. I'm going to undo that one more time. I'm going to hit Control D to deselect. I'm going to jack this up to, let's say, 90. I don't know. 90 is good. And this time I'm going to try it one more time. And this time when I do, I see it really selected a lot of what I needed. It got this in between spot. It got all these areas around it. I'm going to hit backspace. And now you're going to see that it's nice and clear. 90 would be a good number for you to use. But mattering on your drawing, mattering on how dark your background is, you may have to make this higher or even maybe a little bit lower. Why would I make it lower? I would only make it lower if it's deleting part of my character. I would make it higher if I still have a lot of white stuff in and around my picture. Now I'm going to hit Control D to deselect. I have the stuff that I drew in the background here. I have some like dirt and junk. I want to get rid of this. This is where I'm going to switch over to my eraser tool. We're all familiar with the eraser tool. I should be working at 100% hardness. And this is where I'm going to go in and manually kind of clean up my picture. Some of this other stuff, I just don't need it or want it for my final piece. All right. Just going to clean that stuff up. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Take my time to kind of make sure I get exactly the way I want it. But really what my goal is here is to get my character alone. No background, no extra nonsense, just my character. All right. And I want to be happy with my erase and everything else that goes on with it. I'm going to take a look and I'll see, all right, I can kind of get rid of some of this stuff. A little line over here. So right now, what I should have is I should have a layer right here that is all by itself. Now you might have noticed mine said gloves. It takes the name of the last layer. So I'm just going to rename this now character. These other layers over here, if you have extra layers, like for me I do, I don't need them anymore. So I'm going to click on like this layer and then just hit the trash can down here. And the background copy, I don't need that anymore. I'm going to delete that too. Now right now I should have one layer unlocked, named character with just my character on it. Just in case, I'm just going to go File and save it as a PSD just in case so I know I have it. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my background. I've already made my background. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go File. Sorry for a little lag here. File and Open. I'm going to go to my downloads. I know what I named my particular background, so I'm going to go search for it and grab it. It should be a PSD, and I'm just going to hit Open. All right. Now what I'm looking at is my background. Where did my character go? If you look up here, you're going to see right beneath the tool options, you're going to see your files. This one happens to be my background. You can see it's highlighted gray. This one is my character. You can see it's separately on its own. If you hit X, you're going to close it out. You don't want to do that. So what you can see, I have my two files opened over here. One is my character. The other one is my background. I want to add my background to the character, not my character to the background. You could do it either way, but I want to keep this sort of vertical, page-looking layout because it's going to be a comic book cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my background. My background should already have been done. It's going to be one layer over here. If it's locked for some reason, unlock it by clicking on the lock. I'm going to select all of this. To select all, you're going to hold down Control and then press the letter A. All right? For all, I'm going to undo that. Control and the letter A. You should see that the entire background is highlighted with that dashed line. That means it's selected. Now I'm going to copy it. I'm going to hit Control and then tap the letter C for copy. All right? You won't see anything change, but just trust that that's been saved to the clipboard. Now I'm going to go switch over back to my original project. My project's here. You can see it's one layer character. Now I'm going to press Control and then I'm going to tap the letter V, like victory. When you do that, you should see that your background has suddenly appeared as layer 1 on top of your character. I obviously want my background to be behind the character. You can click on the little picture here and drag it down. Or you can click on your character little picture and drag it up. Either or. Now, most likely, the picture that you paste is either going to be too small or too big. I don't want you to resize your character. We're going to resize the background. So it's important that we, one, click on that layer. I'm going to rename my background. And I want to make sure I'm selected on that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go resize it. I have to be selected on this layer. I'm going to go to Edit, Free Transform. Free Transform. When I do that, you'll notice there is a highlighted box with little dots around my background. If you did this on the wrong layer, that box would be around your character. If it's around your character, just press Return. It'll disappear, and then you could switch layers. Again, make sure you're on the background. Hit Edit, Free Transform. Now, if you click in those corners, you can click and drag your picture. If you drag it the way I do, it kind of stretches it out a little bit. I don't know if I like it that way. You could stretch it out to be bigger than your character, which makes it look a little more natural. You can also click on it and sort of move it around. Okay? I'm clicking and dragging. And when you're in the transform option, the only thing you can do is mess with that layer. So I think I got it the way I like it. I placed it the way I wanted. To be able to finish this part and move on to the next, I have to press Enter or Return. You'll know you did it correctly because that box that was around it disappears. Now, I have my background set, I got my character on it. I might want to move my character a little bit, just to line him up a little bit better. So I'm going to go to my character. I'm going to take the Move tool, which is the first tool on the top left. I'm going to click on the Move tool, and then I'm going to click on my character and sort of place him a little bit. So I'm going to place him down over here. All right. When I have it exactly the way I want it, I'm going to save this. And I'm just going to go File, Save as a PSD. You might be able to guess how we're going to put the title on here. And for those of you who are a little bit ahead, you can go ahead and do that. But I will demo that separately on another day, maybe tomorrow, perhaps Wednesday. So that is how we're going to add our background to our character. Again, you may have to go in with your eraser tool and kind of clean up some of the edges and parts. But using the magic wand and the tolerance on the magic wand, again, it should be up high at like 80 or 90, you should be able to erase most of your background. If you're having individual problems with that, please just contact me and I'll help you. I'm going to post this video shortly so that